Alrighty, we wrapped up December 20th. We will do our startup day on the 21st. So let's go through our steps. Take units from the calendar space for current day, move them to the reserve box. So the allies will be adding three divisions of the 84th Infantry of the 7th Corps. The Germans, we have a holdover piece that came in on the 20th. So today's the 21st. So it's not yet eligible for the automatic delayed deployment. So it remains in the reserve box. We also have two more divisions for the 15th PG. And we have another fairly strong piece of the LXXV 85th, I think is what that is. Also, as I typically do, I go ahead and bring the next day's pieces to the board. There are none for the German side. The Allied side starts bringing in pieces big time. 3 infantry divisions from the 80th. Another infantry division from the 9th. 3 infantry divisions, 26th. 3 armored divisions for the 4th Armored. A cavalry unit. The British 43rd Division, 3 divisions. 3 divisions of the British 53rd. 2 very powerful tank units, GA, and 3 more armored units. So all of that is sitting on the December 22nd box for the Allies. Okay. We do not have a 2-day delay of any German reserves. We have not yet reached the Meuse River, so we're not releasing the German OKW. Hopefully, if we look at our map, hopefully we can get one or more of these divisions at least adjacent to the river and maintain a supply path. And if that is all in effect this time on the next calendar day, then the German OKW reserve is released. Card prep. So on the Germans, reinforcement cards, there are 2 more for the 21st. 1 primary. I'll just simply add it to the primary cards. And 1 supplementary. We'll put it in the, I'm going to put it in the middle of the supplemental cards coming into play. The instructions will say to shuffle these. And then for the 21st, we will take 8 German supplemental cards and add to the draw deck. So I'm going to do a quick shuffle of these off the screen. I'm going to draw 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Put them in my draw pile. Yesterday's supplementary discards now go into those. I'm going to put this new primary card in the middle. I already shuffled these before I started this. I'm going to put these two stacks together in the draw pile. Do my top bottom. I already forgot what I did there. My top bottom merge. And then I'm going to do a shuffle. And then it will instruct me to draw my initial 6 cards. All right, always a fun part of the new day. Is what cards do we get? All right, that's the new core. So I'll be able to deploy those 2 units with that card, if I so choose. 5th Panther, 6th, another 6. That's good because I think that whole core sat idle on my prior day. If I deploy these cards, I can then activate them. And another 6th. So, unfortunately, I don't initially have a card to activate this core. Okay. That took care of card prep. Prepare the allied command cards. Check for any reinforcement cards. None to add on the 21st. Okay. I already shuffled this pile. I kind of divided them in half already. I just opened them up to look like we had just played a day. In any case, I will put them back together. We'll do just a quick little shuffle. They were shuffled better already. Put them back on. We also, on the action deck, in the range of days 19th to 23rd, add 2 more action cards. Those have been set aside. Okay. I've also kind of pre-shuffled these. I'll put 1 card there. Open some of the stack. Put in another card. And I'm going to shuffle these. Okay. We have a new rule coming in. It is the 21st. Oh, I didn't check yesterday's win, so we currently have 27 victory points. So we're right in the middle of everything. All right, so we have the Allied command level is now 2. So it's almost going to go back and forth between German and Allied impulses. We're starting Allied Air Interdiction. Rule 8. And you know what? We will just cover that as we need to. Okay. So now we're into the supply phase. Notice the first point, day 21 and beyond, Allied Air Interdiction. Draw an Allied command card. If an air power command event or an army or army group card, discard the German card from your hand with the highest command value and skip the first German impulse of the day. So, it's always a hold your breath moment here. We have a U.S. Army card. So, that means Allied Interdiction comes into play. I have to discard the highest command value in my hand, my choice of more than 1. So I have to drop one of these 3 cards. I'm keeping this one. They're already on the board and they're strong. All right, on these, I do have that core on the map. I have this one piece. Deploy all core reserves. Deploy all core reserves. Okay. Activate all units. So they're basically the same card. So now it's a matter of, do I want to keep an assault coordination, or do I want a reinforce battle? Oh. I'm going to keep the reinforced battle. Okay. So I'm discarding this one. I don't get to use it. And I do not get the first impulse of the day. That honor will go to the Allied side. All right. So there's Air Interdiction. Let me speak to where that will also come into play. If throughout the day it's the Allies' impulse, if they draw a combat and I'm sorry, let me find one. All right, so these cards. It looks like, I'm not sure if all the cards are like this or this particular one in my hand, but you see an event air power. In this case, it doesn't take effect until December 22nd. But these cards will randomly throw in air power events throughout the day. And those will also help the Allies in addressing units that are out of supply. So those become a nuisance. So, for example, these pieces that are out of supply, they could potentially get an airdrop and suddenly they're back in supply. All right, moving on. Bridge. First off, I do not have any bridge engineers, so I don't even need to think about repairing a bridge. Determine supply status. First, we'll do all German units. So, again, a unit needs to have a path. It can go up to 4 hexes without crossing a river. It can go up to 4 hexes, without crossing an unbridged river to reach a road hex, where that road can trace a path off the German edge of the map without going through an Allied zone of control, unless the hex it's going through contains a German unit. That's a tough one. Late in the game, that gets tough to follow until you're used to it. This piece, one reason I took that town, that's a movement of 1. He's on a road. This road can trace a path off the map. So these pieces are therefore fine. This one here, his path, he's out of supply. We're in low supply because Allied zone of control, Allied zone of control. So I really need to make an emphasis to either eliminate that, or I need to get a unit here, because then this could trace a path through a friendly unit as 1, that would be 2, that would be 3, he's on the road. So I missed that. I should have gotten a piece here. So those units are in low supply. which again is going to mean I can't play combat tactics specific on those units. And that's really it. I can still move, I can still attack, etc. He's fine, he's fine. All of these are going to be fine because, you know, friendly, he's on a road off the map. Okay. Same with him. He moves one, he's on a road, he's off the map. Those are fine. This one actually has to, oh crap. Okay, yeah. You know, his technically can go this way. Oops, this way. Okay. So he's on the road. Here he's in an allied zone of control is here, but I have friendlies in the hex. On the road, off the map he goes. Same with this one. Off the map he goes. This one, again, this is a German town, so I can trace through it. Same with bridges that I've marked as German bridges. I can cross those. I cannot cross bridges that are not in my zone of control, such as that one. So this piece could not go over that bridge. But we'll get to him in a minute. This one has a path. Maybe he doesn't. Let's see. It would be in my interest to clear this blown bridge marker. That would enable a supply path using that. Right now it does not. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, so he is also I've not crossed that bridge, so it's not in my control, but if I had that one, I could use this route off the map. Okay? So, he's in low supply. This unit is probably in low supply because his route would be going, you know, again, they can't take a road. That's an issue. That blown bridge is an issue. So that's gonna take priority on this day to secure my supply paths. Now this piece and this piece are probably all okay because they're onto the road and the road can trace this path off the map. Okay? All right. Everything there's fine. This one. Uh-oh. Oh, yes. Uh-oh is right. This holds a zone of control through here without a German piece. So this does not have a clean route. So this is now out of or in low supply. Okay. That would be solved if I had a piece here. This one, so if you have to cross a river, your supply length is 1. So this piece can cross the river. He's reached a road in 1 hex. Actually, he's going to have to cross this one, and he's off the map. Same with this one. He crosses the river. He can trace off the map up this way. He's okay. Again, I said this one was not, I believe, because he cannot go to there and over. Because he's crossing a river, he can only go over a river as 1 hex. And that needs to be a road on the other side. So this one is low supply. Okay. So yeah, again, that would be solved if I had a piece here. Maybe. Assuming I had a piece here, this could go 1, 2, 3, 4 to this road and then off the map. So yeah, I'll probably be getting this piece down here to fix a supply issue. These are both in supply, over the river and off the map. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I'm sorry, just over the river and then off the map. All right. 2, 3. So that was just the German. Now we look at the supply status of the Allies. Let's start up here again. So clearly these are still out of supply. So these two low supply markers come off to be replaced with out of supply markers. And that means we're now looking at the out of supply. They may not attack. Defense strength is unaffected. They may not build an IP, but retain one already in place. If attacked, the enemy attackers may draw 1 extra combat chit and disregard 1 attacker hit. So, kind of why I held off on the last day, and this day I will probably attack those. And I have some cards with which to do so. All right. This stack can go 1, 2, even though there's zone of control, he has a friendly in there. So 1, 2, he's on a road, and off the map he goes. Okay. This one, this low supply still has zone of control. So this stack is now low supply because he's got, he has no valid path. He, of course, is fine. These are fine. He is fine. This one can go 1, 2, he's off. That one's fine. Now is where I think I encircled them. That one's fine. So this one cannot go through here because there's zone of control. He can only cross the river 1 hex. He can go this way. That bridge is blown. He's not allowed to use that one or that one because they're German bridges. So basically, in 4 hexes, can he reach a road that can safely get him a supply line? 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So, from this point here, can he even get off? he cannot go through here. He cannot go to the north. Ooh, 1, 2, 3, 4. He can reach that road. That road cannot make a path off because there's zone of control. 1, 2, 3. No. So he is low supply. And he would be low supply, and he would be low supply, because I was able to kind of build a line around them. So we had low supply, low supply, and low supply. So if I attack those, they at least cannot draw a card for combat tactic or a surprise defender. And on the Allied, they cannot be the lead unit in an attack. Okay. So that's our supply. Remove any roadblock markers not in both Allied and German communication. There are not. Oh, sorry. This one is in German communication. You can trace a path off the German side. You can trace a path off the Allied side. So that roadblock remains. Did I see another one? No. Okay. Out of fuel. Check your hand for any cards with German formations showing out of fuel. That'd be for the 21st. There are none. None of these say out of fuel. Okay. So we are actually ready to start our first impulse of the day. Remember, we had the Allied Air Interdiction, and we're skipping the first German impulse. We go straight to the Allied impulse. So let's go ahead and do that. All righty. We do not have a special event for the day. Deploy reserves. 1st, 9th, and 5th Armored. We don't have any in the reserve box. We would see if there's any out of contact units. So the first and the 9th. So these hexes are in contact because I can move a piece by them. They do not have the 5 or more steps or 8 or more strength points in them. So nothing there is eligible. Those clearly wouldn't be because they're surrounded, they're out of supply. So nothing to deploy from reserve box or out of contact. There is no expedite on this card. There's no assigning replacements on this card. We will check to see if we activate the 1st, 9th, 5th Armored. We will, because those units are eligible to place in improved position. So on that basis alone, we know we can activate and draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. They're in order of 2, 11, and 17. Fill the gap, starting with the highest numbered 27 down to 1. We are also going to check the wandering behind enemy lines rule because of those surrounded pieces, okay? The first point under eligible to activate says wandering behind enemy lines, rule 10.8. I'm unfamiliar with that, so I always have to look it up. 10.8. An Allied unit or stack is considered to be wandering if all the following are true. So we're going to consider this stack first. Hold on. 1st, 9th, and 5th. Do we even have any pieces in this core? That's the 99th, the 99th, and the 2nd. We're not dealing with those. And this one is the 2nd. So never mind. Those are not a part of this activation. So we're back to fill the gap. Starting with the highest numbered piece of, we're really dealing with these two stacks. So the highest numbered piece is number 11 here. Is the unit proximate to an empty position to which a German unit is also proximate? Position with hex a hold value less than 5 may not be in another Allied zone of control. That's very likely. Right there, we've got, we are proximate with this piece because they could do a, let's see, that one holds zone of control. But yeah, this piece could move here. So that is proximate, as is that this piece with the 11, 1, 2, he could move there. He could not move there. I'm sorry, he could. No, he could not. 1, 2, 3. This unit could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So all of these hexes are proximate to this German piece. So the action, move to position. If more than one choice, move to the highest hold value. So essentially that was easy. I didn't need to point all those others out, but those were eligible. So this piece, 1, 2, 3, moved into Spa. That is unfortunate for us playing the German side. Check the second piece, which would be number 10. So that's no longer eligible because it's next to a piece. I can no longer get there. That's not eligible because it's next to a piece. Looking this direction, that's not eligible because it's next to pieces. I am proximate to this hex, which he could reach. However, he could be in danger of surround. The card says avoid surround. Anywhere else he can get to that's valid? No. So the same is going to hold true if we start checking these other pieces. That's not eligible because it's next to allied pieces, etc., etc. So those are done. Doing fill the gap, and as you notice, he filled the gap because now there's a continuous line. Zone of control, piece, zone of control. So this is the gap he just filled. Toss that card. Next one. Ooh, an elite attack. Starting with the lowest numbered piece. So number 8 here is the lowest numbered piece. Situation. The stack strength is at least 2 times a proximate German unit or stack. if elite, and that unit is elite, if elite, then the strength just needs to be greater than or equal to a proximate German unit or stack. So, let's look at this situation first. Situational strength. All right, if we're attacking across the river, cut the strength in half. So instead of 6, it's 3. So we consider that as 3. All right, moving on. The unit is not defending in a city or west wall. It is in an improved position. So that strength of 2 is considered to be 3. They're in the woods, not a forest. They're not in the clear, they're not out of supply or out of fuel, they're not isolated. So the defender is considered a strength of 3. The attacker is considered a strength of 3. Therefore, if elite, if the strength is greater than or equal to approximate German unit. So we're going to have an attack. Is that the only? Yeah, he cannot move to attack something else. He could 1, 2, but he's certainly not going to have the strength of that stack. 1, 2, 3. So to break contact would be 1, 2 on the road. That would be 3. So that piece would be, he would be in the forest. The stack would be 6 to 2. Or actually 6 to 3 because he's in a forest. So that would also be valid. Okay. Move to the weakest qualifying target and attack. Other proximate units in same core reinforce. So we have, frankly, the weakest unit would be that regular unit, not the elite unit. So I'm going to say this is the weakest unit. Okay, so this unit stack will move and attack. Other proximate units in the same core reinforce. So that means this piece, which is in the same core, can reinforce. And without checking all their rules and such, one is going to say to move to a empty hex that does not have allied units in it. So it's going to end up being this hex. So this piece will move. Notice that we're still preserving our line. We're not creating any kind of a gap here. So now instead of a 3 to 3, the situational strength is now 6 to 3. So again, this all stays the same. If elite, disregard the first attacker hit. Break off at the first applied attacker hit. Okay, this is also going to have tank battalion. That's swell. So tank battalion is going to help them out. I'm on the allied Wrong one. Tank battalion. Add 1 to the Allied combat strength. Fills the requirement for armor if Allied units in the combat do not already possess armor. They don't, so now they're considered an armor and a combined arms attack. So I lost the benefit of being the only armor involved. I do have an improved position. They're going to get to draw another card also, and then I'm going to choose if I want to play a combat tactic. Oh, swell. So they also will have air power. I could actually consider... Oh, I want to do that. I'm going to punch them back in the gut. My intent was to utilize this core. You know, that piece there and that one to kind of defend up here. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go ahead and do a reinforced battle. Doesn't matter which of these I use, I suppose. I'm going to use this one. So I'm playing a reinforced battle, which will allow me to move a unit or stack up here. 1, 2, 3. All right. 1, 2, 3. He tucks in there too. So there. Minimum chit draw. That's got 4 steps on it and 2 more. So the minimum draw is 6, regardless of what this says about breaking off attacks. That's only after we've pulled the minimum. So let's take our minimum 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The odds are now they're cut in half, so that's 3. That's 6 attacking a strength of 7. So it's less than 1-to-1 odds. This applies. I'm in the woods. That applies. Attacker does not have artillery, nor does the defender. That one does not apply. Attacker is not green. Attacker is elite. That one applies. There is no defender adjacent. We're not out of supply or dispersed. It is less than 4-to-1 combat odds. That one applies. So using these, this is where things will end, because the card said disregard the first attacker hit result, break off at the first applied one. We ignore one, and then we're going to apply one and break the attack off. Okay? Meanwhile, on the defender side, those 2 offset, and this defender hit is going to be removing the improved position. So, and then the rules for the attacker hits. Let's just review it real quick. Okay. Assigning hits to attacking allied. First hit is a step loss. Well, yeah, we're taking the first hit here. Applying step losses. Allied. Apply the loss to the participating stack with the most steps, selecting the highest numbered multi-step unit. So this stack has the most steps, and then we take the highest numbered unit. We have an 08 and an 09. So the 09 takes a one-step hit. Okay. So I call that a success because we threw a reserve piece, reinforcement up there and shut this attack down. Throw my chips aside. That combat tactic goes aside. And now if there's any other pieces of this core to check, there are none because now all of the pieces, this impulse, have either moved or were involved in an attack. So there is nothing else to do any more attacking. There's nothing left to move. There's nothing that we can build an improved position on that did not move. So that's the end of the allied impulse. Okay, this was a good start of day and opening attack.